Hey, YouTubers, stackers, welcome back to the channel. I'm just plain old welcome if you're new here. Pre-33 gold. You hear a lot of that every so often on some of these premier stacking channels. I never sought this stuff out, but this thing right here, my buddy was so excited to teach me about this being a double eagle and how gold is worth this and that. And this is probably 1999. And, I kind of blow it off. But then I got to the point where my life was changing, getting ready to change. I was planning on getting out of the golf business, take care of my dad 24/7, and I had a bunch of stuff that I didn't want anymore. Quite honestly, I didn't need it. I didn't need 7 sets of really nice golf clubs. I didn't need dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of quality, top-notch, top-of-the-line, top-shelf golf balls. I didn't need 112 full-bodied mallard decoys. I didn't need 50-plus floating goose decoys. I didn't need all that camo netting. Wait a minute. I actually did need all that camo netting. But I found out in the long run it doesn't last very long in the tropics. But it does great in Ohio. Very long lasting. So, it came down to it. I had been a coin collector, fortunately and unfortunately, double-edged sword being old, I had a lot of old silver coins. Get them in my change. I think I started spending money probably around the age of 10, so that's like 1969. And you could still go to the bank and peer over the teller's window, or if you weren't tall enough, like I was at the beginning, say, "Oh, do you have any half dollars?" Because I was after JFK half dollars. I knew the 64s. Of course, that was the first year for them. I knew the 64s, but occasionally asking for those, I'd say, "Well, I got these others." And they were Ben Franklin's. Yeah, sure, if I had enough money. So this was my first piece of gold I ever owned. And I traded a set of Big Bertha irons, M9 at least, probably 3 through lob wedge maybe, I forget. I know I kept the 2 iron because the guy I traded with, he was a hacker. He didn't know what to do with a 2 iron. And he would, we didn't really do a whole lot of negotiating. He told me what he thought this was worth at the time, and I knew what I had in my golf clubs, personal golf club inventory. As a matter of fact, I think one set, some Hague Ultras made by Wilson, I think I purchased those before I got in the golf business. Everything else were comps. They were, I signed on to be on staff, like for instance with Wilson, or I'd get a comp set of clubs from Callaway because I did really well in some Big Bertha driver selling contest. So I didn't really have anything in. So it's hard for me to cost average because I eventually bartered for all of my pre-1933 gold, all from the same fella. His priorities in life changed. He placed more value when he needed money on Home Shopping Network gizmos and just weird stuff. I mean, ceiling fans that over the course of I don't know how many years, I never saw them out of the box. They were always in the ever increasing inventory in hallways, and spare bedroom was just filled with junk. maybe in the long run he saved some money, because of the inflation and, the increase in prices for things over the years. But if you never install them, it's a waste of money. I didn't care about grading, and I couldn't tell you if this thing's been cleaned or licked, or I would imagine it was in somebody's pockets at one time in its life. It's got I don't even know what that mint mark is down there. I have to let me see if I can find out. It's an S. Imagine that means Sacramento. So I can't tell you if the thing's been cleaned or what, and I really can't tell you what it's worth today. I can't tell you how much actual gold is contained within this coin. I can tell you it's beautiful. I can definitely admit that I'm more enamored with it today in 2024 than I was when I first got it. I didn't really doubt my decision to trade for this, and it did lead me to do some investigations. I sleuthanized the subject matter and found out, about stacking. And then I just, Katie barred the door there. He also introduced me to Silver Eagles, and I just stuck with that at first. And that's a long story. Nobody cares. But, yeah, this was my first piece of gold coin. I had a class. Eventually, I had a class ring before this, which was 10 karat. I had a PGA ring, had a fancy little, maybe it was a diamond in it. I think that was 10K, either 10 or 14K, Jostens. I had a Varsity Award ring. That was probably 10K. I had broken gold chains, rope chains, all kinds of broken stuff by then. And I just kept that in a box or a Crown Royal bag or something. I just had it stashed, near my Mickey Mantle baseball cards, close by my Spuds MacKenzie collection. That was a sickness. Stacking's a good collection sickness. So anyhow, definitely pre-1930. I've never tested it. I've never pinged it. They didn't have it. Maybe they had. I just didn't pay attention to that stuff. Yeah, my buddy was not the sharpest knife in the sheath, but his dad was into coins collecting, and maybe he got this from his dad. I don't know. His dad was born in the early 20s like mine, so I don't know. But in God, I do trust, for sure, so I agree with a lot of stuff on here. $20, I wouldn't agree with that. Not today. So it started there. And then, eventually, it came to this kind of stuff. And I was, somewhere between 2001 and 2017, I was working towards being self-sufficient, becoming a minimalist. I had to learn computer, I had to learn eBay, I had to learn how to make my own website. I actually knew HTML for a while there because I wanted to save money on photographs for eBay. Got into Ohio-made pottery, early 20th century barrister bookcases, and antique postcards. Long story, nobody cares. Anyhow, so eventually I traded either decoys or you kind of got to be careful with how you describe certain items on this YouTube place, or you can get suspended or whatever. But things that make that might get you suspended, you can't mention them. But they were associated with hunting, and I had fishing gear, just all kinds of stuff that. Now, yeah, I could have sold it at a yard sale. I could have put it in my antique mall space. I could have sent it to. It could have been included with my estate auction, my fancy online estate auction. This was one of my last great hurrahs. And eventually I reduced my possessions to about 2% of what I had and had collected and had inherited, except for the property. Still got the property there. I got some renters, but and that's no fun. But so yeah, these are neat. I did like these. I thought these were really cool. I didn't realize it's so hard to photograph or make a video of. Very cool. I think this is a 1920 something. But it's not, I don't know, it's weird. It's not, I guess, I don't know if it's engraved or, but it's almost as if these designs are, say, embossed or in relief. In pottery, in the pottery world, it would probably be considered relief. But again, I don't know if they've been cleaned. I've had people say, "Oh, you should send those away and get them graded. Those are nice." Yeah. First of all, I don't trust practically anybody, especially if they've got their last name is comma INC period. But I don't care about that stuff. I really don't. I mean, if I had somebody I trusted said, "Oh, hey, I can," or maybe I took it to a coin show and they have one of those NGC booths where they will, you don't have to send it away. They'll just look at it and give you, their professional opinion or guesstimate on, what's going on with them, condition-wise or anything like that. But so yeah, pre-33, I got some. And I didn't part with a piece of Fiat toilet paper for any of this stuff. Now, yes, it's true. I paid for those decoys. I paid for those implements that hunters carried with them into the woods or in a boat on a river or a lake or out in a field. Yeah, I paid for that stuff. Either out of labor or maybe I sold something to get the money to buy something else. So I'm familiar with currency. I've used it. I stack it. I stack it not for the reasons most people do. Yeah, for emergencies. But I've kind of got an emergency fund too. I stack it for, boy, you probably already know right now. I ain't right in the head, but I started this out mostly with a SHTF scenario motivator in mind. So I had strategies on what to do with my cash stack if I detected bank runs. This is the end of the end of the world as we know it, without rule of law, blah blah blah. So I scouted out farms, and I had my sights set on 3 or 4 different farmers that I'd purchased meat from before, or asked permission to hunt their property or whatever, or grew up with their son, or went to school with their children, and so I didn't. Anyway, whatever. Maybe that's another video. But yep. So this is an 1853 $1. Now, I've tried to figure out whether these are the same two, if this is the same gal on this one as it is on that one. I can't tell. My nerves aren't good enough to be patient. At the very least, I think the one on the double eagle is maybe the older sister. They kind of look like they're related. But, yeah, so if this is a double eagle, what the heck is this thing called? Yeah, and they are different because you got the date underneath the gal's portrait on the double eagle, but it's on the other side. I'd call it tails, heads versus tails. I know there's obverse and reverse, but yeah. So I don't ever foresee being in the position where I'd want to turn this into anything fiat. I don't have any heirs. I got 3 nephews. I love them, so maybe these will end up being their responsibility. I don't know. I keep vacillating on why I'm doing all this, maintaining this stack in 2024. I can give you all kinds of reasons why I started and continued, and the strategies, and they're all kind of based on long-haired, crazy beliefs and conspiracy theories and coincidences and all kinds of stuff. But I don't know why I'm continuing to hang on to this stuff, other than I don't trust the Federal Reserve Reserve note of 2024. I don't care what year's on the front of it. I'm hoping I live long enough to get past that and actually attain some kind of end game that doesn't involve the conventional methods that we use today. I got issues. I know I got issues. But yeah, so pre-33 gold. What do you think? I mean, I know it's pretty. It's pretty neat. I would bet this little thing, this little gizmo, that, and what it's worth, which might not be much, that all 5 of them, or 6 of these pieces, are authentic. And maybe I'm taking a risk. I mean, it'd be worth it. Depends on what the wager was for. And I can't see anybody taking me up on that. They got nothing to win, other than that little itsy-bitsy fractional gold piece. So that's it. I do have some fancy little, what you call these things, capsules, maybe, for the small stuff. I got this fancy gizmo. I found that at the local coin shop, but I think I had to buy a box of them, and I think I put the ones that I didn't use in my big online auction, a lot of Chinese stamps and coins and stuff that I wasn't able to, or wasn't smart enough to peddle off on eBay. And so I got the little flips, or whatever those things are called. There's my good luck silver round I got for being a degenerate poker player for the whole month of January 2013. It's my trusty loop. That was my dad's, and I'm pretty sure, I think he used this mostly for drawing and drafting. He was a mechanical engineer. Probably my next is a preview of fractional gold inside little fancy cards. Why? What to do with them? So many issues. Anyhow, whoa, 17 minutes. That's crazy. I'm getting off here. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for returning. I really appreciate any comments, criticisms, compliments. If the volume is horrible, if you folks think the volume is horrible, I'm just going to delete this thing and redo it. I've got me a fancy $3.50 microphone earbud combo that no one's grumbled since I've been using this thing. I have, my neighbors live really close, and I do this outside, and I can't really talk at full volume. I've thought about getting inside my truck, but they already think I'm pretty weird after 8 years of living really within, so close. When my neighbor sneezes, I have to resist the urge to say God bless you. They're that close. I can smell their incense every morning at 4:30. I think they're probably Buddhists, or maybe she is. But yeah, so like, subscribe, oh yeah, comment, compliment, criticize. But I really would really, did I say really appreciate if you would subscribe, even if you never come back. Don't worry about it. I'll miss you, but I won't hate you. I won't dog you, and I won't throw shade at you or any of that stuff. You can subscribe and forget. Kind of like that those Ronco commercials. Set it and forget it. But up to you. Not a requirement. But yeah, so bartering is possible, or at least was. I grew up in this area, so I had I'd been around. People knew me. People knew my name, my last name. So it was a lot easier to network, make connections. There was way more flea markets, way more yard sales than there is here, and I don't know anybody here. And quite frankly, it is on my to-do list to go to find a brick-and-mortar coin shop here. I'm not excited about going without any protection, the kind of protection like we're not allowed to talk about on the YouTube. So, yeah. But I appreciate it. All right, then.